Much more.
Kip, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man.
Good to see you guys, man. Been a minute.
Fresh haircut. It looks good. I like that look.
Been a minute.
That's a good one.
I feel like it was Buzz the last time I was in here.
I don't know, dude, but that one looks good.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, how you been?
Yeah, I'm good.
Where have you been? I like to do this. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Where's Kip Moore been in the last 3 months?
I haven't. I went down to Costa Rica for a brief minute. I had like 6 days off and I went surfing, but I've just kind of been here doing a lot of different stuff, a lot of studio stuff, and then kind of getting prepped for this.
That picture behind you is you in front of a GTO. Is that your car?
No, that's
stunt car.
My buddy Matt Dorchinez, who's been a friend of mine for a long time. His friend had that car. The dad had passed, and that was like his baby. And he said, "I've got a car for you," because he knew we were going out to Arizona to shoot a lot of this footage. And I told him what we were kind of looking for, and he's like, "I've got the car." And they were kind enough to let us hold it, but it was we knew how precious the car was to this family, and that was intense to like make sure that
you didn't treat it like a rental.
Nothing happened to the car. Yeah.
I saw a video. It's been a while now where I'm not sure what happened, so I'd love the story on it. All of a sudden, you're outside playing guitar by a fence in a foreign country, and there's a bunch of people surrounding you. Did they kick you out of somewhere because it was late, and so you took the concert out into the back?
Oh, yeah. That was in Dublin, Ireland. That was a long time ago. It's like old footage, kind of. It looks
like
I
saw
old.
the video. I didn't know if it was old or not.
Yeah.
You're like Peter Pan, dude. You don't look older, so all the stuff looks the same.
You know, it happened it happened the first time in Dublin, and because so many people videoed it, then it got to be where every night no one would leave after the show was over. So it happened in Glasgow was probably the biggest. It was at least 2,000 people in the streets after Glasgow concert.
So you just go on the street after the show and take your acoustic guitar and sing?
Yeah, I did. So the first time in Dublin, they were all in the alley, and I could hear everybody chanting it went on for 45 minutes where, I was just so taken aback by it that I kind of stepped outside, and when I peeked my head out, everybody, started cheering. So they were all chanting for Heart's Desire, which I hadn't played. So I just grabbed my guitar and I just started playing Heart's Desire, and then they just kind of took over and sang it for me. And then when that footage got out, it got to where every show I did, people were outside chanting. So then I just started that whole tour, I would just kind of go out and play for people after the show.
Is that cool?
Yeah, it was cool. It was endearing. It was super endearing.
What song do people sing the loudest at your shows? Is there a difference in America and when you're not in America?
For sure. I mean, you got to take Heart's Desire. I mean, that's been a massive hit in other countries. So I would say that Heart's Desire as a whole, which was on the Wild Ones record, that was us. That was us has always been a really big one in the Bull. But, those songs are also loud in the States. But I would say as a whole, Heart's Desire has got to be unequivocally the biggest song I have. I mean, it's bigger than Truck.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, just as far as if you're just going by the States, that's the most known song. But at a show, even in America, Truck's not the loudest when I'm playing a show amongst the fan base. I would say the Bull, Heart's Desire, that was us.
I'd be singing something about Truck loud. Yeah. I'd be up on row.
I mean, I don't believe you, but
yeah.
If I know you be in the back and you be kind of chilling out.
Yeah, I'd be kind of back in the corner. That's a good point. I
don't see you in the front. Maybe Eddie, maybe Lunchbox, but I don't see you doing that.
Do you have any because you wrote these songs on the new record? It's out today, by the way. And the new record is Reason to Believe. Do you have any fun Kip stories of you writing a song somewhere really odd from this record?
I mean, as far as like odd,
like you're in an anthill in Peru and you're like, you just can't.
No, I don't have any. I mean, a lot of these ideas, yeah, for sure. I mean, there was 2 or 3 ideas that came to me while I was on a dirt bike down in Central America, where like I'm thinking of it, but it's not like I've kind of done that a lot through my career, where I'll stop and then I'll get a cup of coffee and then I'll just start kind of singing what I'm hearing in my head, and then I'll drive on to the next surf spot, and then I'll kind of I'm out there, but nothing's like nothing like the way I wrote Love and War, which was really wild how I wrote that. But I mean, there was nothing that was really out of the norm this time.
Did you write all these songs near each other?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I wrote The Darkness, Long Time Coming, Faith in the Wind. I would say at least 4 of them were all within a week. But I mean, like, I'm writing every day. Like, the minute Solitary Tracks is over, I was writing the next day, but I probably wrote 30 songs over the next 3 months before I landed on The Darkness. And that's kind of how it works for me. I landed on The Darkness and Faith in the Wind in the same time period. And I was like, oh, okay, there's something I'm saying now. There's like a thing that's happening. So that's when like the record starts.
Play some of The Darkness for us, Raymundo. That'll be track number 3.
I guess the darkness just likes me too much. Every time I find the light, I feel that touch. Down a long black hole and I'm looking around.
So, what are you trying to say with this whole record then?
I think that so much of this record is, when I think about the title of Reason to Believe, and Reason to Believe was Brett James's favorite song that I had for so many years, and that was kind of like he was always. We tried to put it on Up All Night. We tried to put it on Wild Ones. I just kind of missed it when I recorded it. And sometimes that happens, but I felt like a lot of this record, like The Darkness, I remember writing that chorus at like 1 o'clock in the morning on my back porch, and it's, I've always, at the core of me, I've always had a faith about me, and I know that I have that, even when I feel like I'm losing it or I'm questioning, do I have it anymore? I know at the core of me I have it, but I have struggled in my adult life a lot, and especially since this has been my career, the not feeling worthy in a lot of ways, a lot of vulnerability. I feel like there's a dark entity chasing me all the time, and I'm always trying to do my best at trying to find the light, and I can't quite find it, and it gets really, really, really heavy for me at times. And I think that essentially with a lot of this record is having faith that even like with The Darkness, I do purposeful things with sonically a lot of the record where I'm trying to pull that rubber band to keep a lot of tension on the verses, and then when the chorus opens up, I'm trying to make it feel like sonically it's going in this place of a freeing place. And then that's even like in the end when it's all, ooh, I'm trying to almost create like an angel choir, like around what's happening, to even help myself to feel like, reassure myself that, even when it is as dark as it gets, I know what I believe in at the core of me, and I'm everything's going to be okay. And I think there's just a lot, Faith in the Wind, there's a lot of that messaging throughout the record.
Do you have insecurities in how you are as an artist, musically?
I think we all have so many. I mean, I got tons of, it's like I feel very comfortable in my skin, and I've always felt comfortable in being who I am, and I've always felt a little left of center, and I don't feel comfortable in certain crowds, even though I can adapt. But I think we all have insecurities, but I don't think that I ever felt the way I feel as far as that word goes until I was doing music for a living. I've always been really hard on myself, but it's like when I finished this record, and it seems to happen every time where I'm like, whether people are like, holy cow, this lyric and this and that, and then I'm kind of off in the shadows going, gosh, I suck. I should just hang this up. And then I get really self-deprecating. But then it's like I'll step on a stage, and it's like I know that I'm good at that, but I might spiral from one thing that I see, and feeling like I'm not. I don't think that I ever battled that in life the way I battle that now with this being, because you're exposing a different part of yourself, I feel like, and it's kind of, I work so hard at this, and then I'm always practicing, and I'm always trying to get better at what I do, and I'm always trying to be a great writer. And you measure yourself against your heroes and this and that, and people close to me think it's silly, but I mean, I think that a lot of people, especially in music, deal with that. But I think as a whole, with just different things that we do in life, one minute you're like, I'm not bad at this, and the next minute you're like, what am I even doing? But I think that, I think that's just honest.
Yeah, I kind of hate myself a lot of times, and I will tell my therapist that, like, I'm really not having a good moment with me.
Mm-hmm.
it gets thrown around, but very much imposter syndrome, I feel at times too. And my therapist will say, hey, what's 3 good things about you? And he'll make me do that. What do you think are 3 good things about you that you have to say about yourself?
Man, Bobby, I don't know if we need to do this right now. Man, I think that I really look. I know that I look out not only for people that I care about, but I'll go out of my way to inject myself with trying to help people out. I don't know it all.
That's strong. That's one. That's a good one. We love that one. That's one.
I'll just go with that, man.
No, you got 2 more.
I'm good, man.
Why are you so uncomfortable saying something nice about you?
I don't know. It's just not my bag. But I know that I do that.
Okay, how about I do one?
Go ahead.
About you.
Oh.
About him.
Oh, okay. I thought it's
I don't like doing it about me either. It makes me uncomfortable.
See, but now you see the position you're putting him in.
But I don't have an album. I don't like, we're talking about his album where he has all this self-discovery, and it's like, hey, let's do some.
Maybe one would be, you do it. You do what you're going to do, and then I have one.
You go ahead. You can do one.
Okay. I would say you're willing to do the work, like self-discovery. Not everybody is open to digging deeper to do the work, to want to be more introspective. Yeah. And I think that that's a positive about you.
I appreciate that.
I got one.
Yeah.
I feel like as an artist, you know exactly who you are. And even if you don't, you're chasing exactly who you are, and you don't compromise when putting out your art. And I think at times that's been great for you. And at times people have probably said, hey, maybe we should like make it a little soft, make it a little easier. And you're like, nope, I know who I am. I think that's a great thing about you.
I've been diligent about that throughout my career. And that hasn't been easy. But yeah, I mean,
give us another one. We just gave you one.
You know, I mean,
you're a good golfer.
I will. What's that?
You're a good golfer.
Yeah, but that's not.
You
like
have really tan skin.
But that's still something. That's the kind of crap I do in therapy. I'm like, I don't know, I got good hair. Like, some days I'm just there.
I will say this. It's saying what you said. You know, I will say this. I will beat myself up in that regard of being like, golly, you know, like I have not been the human that I want to be in this situation, and I feel like I don't have a problem. I feel like the world has gotten, we all know this, it's gotten so tribal, and you stick your flag and this is where you stand and there's no compromising. And I don't have a problem. I might not like what you say at first. When you get some kind of criticism, I don't know anybody that likes it at first, but I really don't have a problem going back and looking at what I've discovered or you've discovered and you've said to me. I have no problem being like, I need to work on that. I'm sorry. Like, I know that I do that. I try to do that often. So I would say that's another one for sure.
We got 2. Guys, we got movement.
Yeah.
Do we need one more?
Your boots are cool.
Yeah, man. That's not really a trait, but I do like the boots.
Did you pick the boots out?
They sent these to me, man.
Did you open the box?
What's that?
Did you open the box
yourself? Did you
yourself?
put them on yourself?
Yeah, I put them on myself.
Them. They look good.
They're motorcycle boots. So they've been a company around for a while, Brunt, and they're killer.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they're killer.
And you don't look you never look older.
I don't believe that.
Okay.
Yes, for 1 second.
Whatever you say.
Yeah.
Tell me about Levy.
Levy was.
Because I'm gonna play it, so I need you to say something.
Well, Levy was me waking up to. I've been intentionally, not watching the news in a while. I got kind of wrapped up in it, whether it's from social stuff, from the news, and I woke up so sick and tired of how humanity is operating as a whole, and I feel like we are sheep at our core, and I feel like when whatever the people that we look to, however they're steering the thing, we all just kind of fall in line, and our nature, as far as people on TV that you follow on social media that are, are politicians, the way they communicate, now we've all adopted that. So we just kind of scream and shout at each other, and everybody's so self-righteous. And I woke up so frustrated with that. And I've tried to always see nuance in the world and nuance in each situation. So that just kind of came out as a visceral response to what Hank my guitar player was playing. He was just playing that opening riff, and then I just started spitting those lyrics to that song, and it just kind of came out pretty quick. And Luke Preston was on the road with me, and we went back to the bus, and he's like, I know exactly what you're trying to say, and we probably wrote that in like 20 minutes.
I have this picture of you in my head, and you can tell me if it's not true, of you just like on a motorcycle, but you have a guitar on your back in different countries. Is that how you ride a motorcycle?
No, no, it's not.
Oh, dang.
No, it's not.
He's got a guitar on his back, and anytime he gets off, he just plays songs.
No, I haven't. But I did do a long trip to down to the bottom of Baja from LA with just a backpack with a couple buddies, and that was incredible.
But no guitar?
No guitar.
You just like pull over on the side of the
No
road in
guitar.
the desert, and you just
Yeah,
play
Play
it.
a little
guitar.
ditty.
No,
Yeah.
I don't do that, Bobby. That doesn't happen.
Who's your favorite artist of all time?
Oh wow. I would say the most impactful was Tom Petty for me. That's the one that I laid on that hardwood floor in that little garage apartment that I was living in for so long in my mid to late 20s, and I just thought he was the master at saying the simple things in such a creative way. And he was just, him and Dylan were probably my two most impactful. Van Morrison would be my island record if I was stuck on an island. Sam Cooke, love Sam Cooke. I listened to a lot of Sam Cooke growing up. But I would say Petty.
Did you have music in your house growing up?
A lot. My mom played organ in the church, and she taught piano lessons. And my dad was just a lover of music, so he was always playing rock and roll. And then my mom was big on, like, she loved Red-Headed Stranger, but she wanted to be Willie Nelson's piano player. And I would always say, Mama, you don't party enough for that gig. I don't think that's your gig. But I would come home from school. My mom was like this just proper sweet. She's the sweetest woman. And a lot of times it's hard to get the stuff out of her. Like she'll kind of talk here, but she's just always so sweet. And one day I came home and she's just riffing on the end section of November Rain, that dun 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 da 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 dun da da dun, and I'm like 10th grade, and I'm just like my mom is really cool, you know. But you know, you're growing up, and you just kind of. My dad was the one that was the wild guy, and he was playing all the records and stuff. But my mom was such a lover of good music.
How did they feel about you pursuing a career in music?
I think they both thought I was a little, because I didn't. My household was very intimidating, and not to break down family dynamics, but like I get along with my siblings great, like we're great, but it was a talented household, but it wasn't you weren't going to get a pat on the back, and you weren't going to for sure get a pat on the back if it wasn't good. Whatever it was, it just wasn't going to happen that way. There was no third place trophies. There wasn't a oh, you're doing good, keep it up kind of thing, you know. And there was a lot more joking, almost making fun of whatever was kind of somebody was doing, and that's the way they show love, you know. But like my older brother, who I looked up to both my brothers so much, but my older brother was a really good guitar player, and I was such a sponge of all the records. He was playing all the Nirvana records and Pearl Jam, and then he was, you know, playing blues records, and then he was playing Paul Simon and playing, you know, all these people. And he's probably one of the main reasons I'm doing what I'm doing, because I looked up to him so much, but he didn't know that. But I always told myself, because I was writing lyrics and songs at an early age that nobody knew about, even when I was a teenager. And then I told myself, the minute I get to college, my freshman year, I'm going to buy a guitar and I'm going to learn how to do this. I just didn't want to learn to do it in front of them.
Was there ever a moment where they said, "Hey, we're proud of you"? Sincerely.
I know they are. I know they are.
So they don't say it with words. You know through
Yeah,
actions.
I know they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do. Yeah, I do.
You wish they would?
Man, I've just kind of learned. You know, I know how they feel about me. You know, I think when you look up to, whether it's your brothers, whether it's your dad, whether it's your mom, whatever it is, I think that any kid is gonna want that. You know, I just think that's a natural, innate thing that we all have in us. You know, I think that. But I mean, I had an amazing. Like my dad was incredible. but he was hard. He was a hard guy, but he was amazing, you know. I wouldn't trade it for anything. And he was charismatic, and he was just incredible. And my brothers, like I know how they feel about me. It's just not like a verbal affirmation kind of house, and that's okay, you know. But yeah, I mean, when you look up to people the way I've looked up to them, of course, yeah, it'd be cool, but it's not something that I need in that sense.
I felt like for me, when I started to perform in any way, if it was on a stage doing jokes or was doing this, like I find the root of it was me like trying to get that external love because I didn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's where I would go and chase it. And then I would feel it, and it wouldn't last very long. I'd go back to our hotel room and be like, oh, I'm lonely again. But I was just searching for love like on a stage because I didn't get that. Like it wasn't told to me. I didn't even have it, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Wham whammy. But is any of your performance, you're pursuing a performance that, are you searching for any sort of external love?
Man, it's interesting. You know, you talk about this stuff, and I'm really careful with these things. But I've been unpacking, I think for the longest time, my whole life, I think you kind of create this world that, oh, this is what it was, this is what it is. And you know, you get a little older, you're like, wait a minute, it's not quite. I've kind of created this thing of, you know, and so I've been unpacking a lot of that, I feel like, in the last couple of years, like truly unpacking it. And, you know, I do think that, just to give you an example, I can remember, you know, my dad was this freak athlete. He was truly just this freak of nature kind of thing. And like I've said, you know, he was never going to BS you. I can remember riding, you know, in the back of the car as a kid, and I'm probably, I don't know, I'd say 9 or 10, and my dad was the head golf pro and the head superintendent at this little club in my hometown. And, you know, my middle brother, my older brother, David, was just such a good junior golfer, and he's still a good golfer, and he was a stud. And that was kind of his lane, and I was basketball and baseball. But, you know, I got to where I was kind of going out to the golf course because I was like, you know, I want to show my dad I can do this, you know, and I'm getting out there hacking it around as a kid, and I can remember riding home in the car with my mom, my dad, and my brother, and my dad's kind of telling David, and he's 12 or 13 at this time, like, David, you keep practicing, man, you're gonna be something in this game, you know. And I'm in the back seat, and I'd been out there a few times, just kind of hitting balls, and I'm like, you know, how's my swing look, you know, when you looked at it, and I'll never forget it, you know. And he kind of turned around and says, not good, and just kept driving. And that was it. And I can remember my mom going, Stan, he goes, what, you want me to lie to him? And there's part of me that loves that because I knew that when he did tell me something, he meant it, you know. But I can remember I did not pick up a golf club again until I was like, I remember it was my junior summer because I'd quit baseball, and I was waiting on basketball season. I was already getting some basketball offers, so I already knew I was going to do that. It's like, I'm going to go out here and just start playing golf again. And, you know, I'm sure through the years I'd grabbed a club at some point, but like I had not gone out there to like hit a bucket of balls, you know. And so I was like, I'm going to start playing golf. And I've been out there like a couple days, and he hadn't seen me doing it. And then he comes out there, and he's just standing in front of me. And he was an intimidating guy. He was my frame, but he was 6'1". He was just a big V and these big hands and just a bear of a man. And he's staring at me, and he's really close to me, but he's not saying anything. And I'm just hitting, and he kind of stops me and stops my club and says, do you hear that? I'm like, what do you mean? Do you hear the sound that's coming off of that club face? I'm like, I mean, yeah. He goes, well, that doesn't sound like anybody out here hitting balls. If you start practicing, you're going to be really good at this game. I don't know what happened with your swing between now and when you were a kid, but it's perfect playing now. I don't know how that happened. So I became a psychopath. I didn't love the game. I had no love for that game. But you loved your dad giving you affirmation. It was like, I'm about to go be the best golfer there is now.
Yeah.
Now, you know, I wasn't that, but by the end of the summer, I was shooting in the 60s, and it was like, you know, I was there the minute the sun was up. I was there hitting balls, and I would hit balls for 10 hours a day.
That's an excellent story.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Can you tell me about one more song, Sober?
Sober, I wrote with the band over at my house, and that was all just like, a lot of times there's a very intentional, like The Darkness. That's very intentional. Faith in the Wind was very intentional with where I'm at. I know what I'm going to say. I just got to figure out how to get there. Sober was like Heart's Desire was written, where I'll do this, where that was all off a riff that Dave Nassie was playing. And I'm just trying to, where is that putting me right now? And I just started spitfiring, and I can remember that. I can remember the lyric for the whole verse hitting me in a matter of about 30 seconds, where I just it's kind of like scatting. You know, I'm just scatting out, and you're grabbing on the phrases and words, and that was all just an emotive, like, how does this feel? Where sometimes I'm not even sure what I'm saying or where I'm trying to get to. But then once I kind of say a few things, I'm like, okay, now the writer comes out of me, where I'm writing to this thought concept and this hook now.
I like that song, by the way. That's why I asked.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to hear the process. You're just building a melody, catching words that matter, and then building off those words that matter with the melody. You've also been building through not really words.
Yeah, especially when you don't, like I said, when you don't have a map. Like, the minute I sat outside and was like, I guess the darkness just likes me too much, I knew exactly where I'm going. I know exactly where the map is, and I've got a direct thing I want to say. But a lot of times I'm just scatting around. I've got probably 2,000 voice messages on my phone where I'm just scatting on melodies and stuff, and then I'll pull from certain things of, oh, I like what I'm saying here, and then I put myself back in the place where I know that story.
Record's out today, Reason to Believe. Been playing some stuff off of it. Do people, though, come up to you and just say, hey, man, do you want some beer money? To be funny?
It's been a long time, but
I
think that early in my career, I might get a little bit of that for sure, like in meet and greets, but it's been a long time since anybody's done it, Bobby.
Because, you need a little beer money.
Yeah, I got you. I still play it.
Do you ever not play any of the hits?
I went about 2-3 years without playing Hey Pretty Girl.
Oh.
Yeah. And now I love
I was
playing
in the third
it
row
again.
cheering. I'm in the back now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I love playing it again. It's just kind of, sometimes I get disconnected from something, and sonically, whatever, and I just don't play it. And then I'm kind of like, oh man, I just randomly played it one night because there was all these signs at this place I was doing it, and I said, you know what, the heck with it, I'll play it tonight. Probably in 3 years, and then I've played it, probably 50% of the time since I did that a couple of years ago.
So you like it again?
I do.
That's pretty cool.
I do.
Okay, I'm back in the front.
Yeah.
I moved back up. then. Yeah, I'm cheering again. Congrats on the record, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Always really good to see you. I appreciate your generosity with talking about that. Stuff, man.
Good convo.
Anything for Kip, guys?
I have a question for Kip, because it's been a bit, and I remember, Kip, we were talking a long time ago about you not having a place. Like, you just had a little apartment and a truck. You're like, dude, I don't have anything. I tour so much and I travel so much. Did you finally buy a house?
I did. But I still live really simple, Eddie. I really do, man. I did. I built a home that I always wanted to build. Once again, it goes back to my dad.
You built it yourself?
No, I did not do that.
Okay. Well, I have to clarify with him, because
I agree. I'm glad you asked, because I thought he had built like some Aztec hut in a field somewhere.
No, I give props to Michael Kahn for that.
Okay.
No, I always wanted to live on the marsh, and maybe it goes back to my dad. I can remember he'd take us flats fishing, and we would drive through the channels, and we'd see the houses, just the little fish shacks on stilts in Keaton Beach. When you're going out, just the super like little one-story houses, and you're like, man, one day, that's how I want to live. And the dude died before I could make it happen, But and it makes me so mad sometimes, because I would tell myself in my head, I'm gonna figure out a way to make that happen. Even as a kid, I was like, I'm going to figure out a way to make that happen, because he works so hard. The guy put in 70 hours a week, my whole, life as a kid. It was crazy watching how hard he worked. So then I built a house on the marsh and on the East Coast. But as far as the rest of my life, man, I live really, really, really simple. And that'll pay off for me when I walk away from this thing.
All right, you guys, check out the record. It is out today. It is the lovely, the talented the tan, the boot wearing. I don't even know what kind of boots they are, but they do look good.
Yeah.
You wear cologne?
Do I wear cologne?
Cologne. Do you wear
No.
cologne? Yeah. Me either. Yeah. Us
You
manly,
don't have
man.
to.
Yeah, we don't wear. We just do our natural
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. All right. There he is. Kip Moore, everybody.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
It's a Bobby Bones show.